What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the HTM buddy build of the USS Reliant. I'm Jordan with Lion in the Stars.
And I'm Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
And, here I am with actually some work done. The slow progress goes for me as we go along. But some actual work's been done. I'm pretty thrilled about that. How's your week going, Ken?
Actually, I had company, so I only got some work done maybe an hour before we started recording today.
Wow. Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Which is rare for you.
Yes, but it was nice
Yeah.
to have the company. So it was my
Nice.
dad. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Excellent. So, I see that you have some little corner light boxes set up there. How did the assembly of all that turn out? And we were talking beforehand, and you were mentioning a couple things about what you discovered in watching the some of the clips that we have of the Reliant.
Yeah, so the action went well. Completed the boxes last episode, and then this morning here before we recorded, I drilled in just a little 1 millimeter hole, and then just widened it out with my hobby knife to fit in the 3 millimeter lights. But in watching the clips of the Reliant, there's a lot of them. You don't see these at all, like just from the angles. But there's also the few times you do see it, it's blacked out, except for the one time I saw when Khan had the ship and they were chasing the Enterprise into the Mutara Nebula, and then the ship begins to slow down, and
Hmm.
that's when you can see it, and it looks more like it's a cool white light. So, and then it kind of looks
Interesting.
like it's got a hot spot across the center, which kind of fits with what this lighting system does. Ooh, I unplugged my one light.
Yes, you did.
There we go. Kind of. So anyway, yeah. So that kind of fits
Okay.
with what we've got here. So I went with a cool white, and I resisted it. I think at 320, so it's not overly bright.
Right.
So, but it still, has some show to it. So that's what I ended
Nice.
up going with. So
And did you wind up putting a strip down across the entire thing, or did you leave a gap at the bottom? In the
for
middle there, in the middle of the light box. So for
my
the
light boxes are just literally just a box, and then I just took a strip, yeah, and then CA glued it into the middle.
all is straight down and it covers the entire surface. Because when I was looking at it, I thought that it had like a small gap at the very bottom of it. So let me take a
I
look at mine.
might. Oh, yeah, of course I unplugged it again. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. When I was looking at mine, I'll go ahead and power mine up. I'll see if I can get mine. Excuse me. Um, when I did mine, I did it with a strip being left at the bottom. Let me go ahead and grab my alligator clamps as well. And this is not wired backwards. We're good to go there. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Here, let me light up this random thing that I haven't lit up in a while. While we're recording, as I do, I suppose I can just isolate the blue ones. There we go. I actually try to color code my wires with the color of the lights.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I do.
Yeah.
Helps me identify later as opposed to like testing everything.
Yeah, I've done that with my a few of my things. My nacelles are, I think they're blue, and I think they're green and blue. I think,
Okay. Yeah.
or is that that might be my Raytheon effect is blue and green, I think. But
Yeah. So
anyway,
when I
and
did
then
mine,
the cells are a
got
different color.
it. So this is the one that I don't like. I'm not happy with how that turned out. And there's like a gap at the bottom, you see.
Right.
That's what I did with mine. On the other side, however, the one that I do like, it does go all the way down. I don't know why I did
Hmm.
that. That's why this one needs to come out. So, and I am based on, I have the UV LEDs in here to match up with the LED you see on the top for the top vent right below or right behind the bridge. And so I matched those up because I don't know why, but like I think these have always been lit up blue. Like whenever people light these up, I think they're always kind of lit up blue. Comes out a little bit more purple through here because of the UV, but yeah, like I don't know why. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pop those out and do cool white instead, and then of course go ahead and replace this as well. So yeah, no, I'm kind of interesting the two different approaches, and I really don't know why I did that like that. That is such a huge gap on the bottom. Like there's no way I could live with that. So nice. I'm glad you figured that one out. I really
Yeah,
am.
if you go to that little short video Todd gave us, it's at the 1 minute and 20-second mark.
Right.
You can really see it. It's a great shot of the um, starboard side rear,
Okay.
and that really shows it off.
I wonder too, like I part of me wants to go look at like some of the Miranda classes that we see in like the Next Generation and DS9 stuff like that, and because it's the same filming model, right? Like they use the same
Exactly.
filming model like for all of it. So I'd like to see like that. It would be kind of interesting to maybe pull a little bit of imagery from there and see. Obviously, they don't shoot it super close for the TV shows, and they were shot at a very horrible video quality back in the day. So but it would be kind of interesting to look at it. Like, I mean, obviously they modified it in certain ways, like with the Soyuz class had the little, instead of the roll bar, it had the it was a Miranda class, but it was the Soyuz class variant, and it had the weapons pods off to the side. The
Yes.
Saratoga was the ship that Cisco was on right at the very beginning of Deep Space Nine. The ship where his wife died was a Soyuz variant of the Miranda class, and it didn't have the roll bar; it just had the little outrider weapons on the side, which is really cool. I like the little designs that they did, and I'd be interested in building this kit again as a different version of it. But if I build the 537 again, I swear we're not doing all these mods.
Well,
Will you inspire us? But my God, man.
there's a lot of them I would do again, though.
Oh yeah, the
I would
window
definitely
boxes
put the
along the
windows
outside.
in,
One
but
hundred
I think,
percent. Yeah,
yeah, I think we could do a nice end of build video to discuss all that.
yeah,
And
absolutely,
I think everyone should keep an eye out for that. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So I guess talking about that, well, that was a horrible segue, Jordan. What are you doing this week? What are you getting? What's the plan for your video for this week?
Okay, so this week, you'll see me do this. The fact that I have these in, I'll be installing these, and then should be installing all the parts of the impulse engine, and then hopefully I'll be getting my um, navigation lights and strobes into place on the main hull, and have that all ready to be closed up.
Excellent,
So
excellent,
it won't
excellent.
be closed up, but it'll be right around that area.
Right, dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, and how about
Yeah.
you?
You know, I've said this before a couple times,
Okay.
but getting this done. I actually have gone through this week, gotten all of my little light boxes sanded down. They're all ready to go. So I'm going to be going through, installing all my light boxes, getting all of my LEDs put in place, and then put in the chain. I am going to be sequencing these lights, so I'm not going to be like chaining them in a round. I got to chain them across each other. With the main power running around the outside. So it's kind of been like what am I going to do? Because I want them to be able to turn on in the sequence. Like when you power up the model, I want them to go back to back to the front.
Right.
I, I don't know why, but I just want that. Maybe even we can program the Arduino so, like for me, it'll do it randomly. So maybe it might turn on the front ones and the back ones and the middle ones, whatever, at total random. So every time I turn it on. But yeah, so I gotta sequentially pair these up and then run power all the way around. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be the plan. It's been the plan for the last couple of weeks. It's taken a little while to get here, but I've gotten all my sanding done. I've done a bunch of sanding around the top here. Like I had to go through and kind of like make sure that it's kind of hard to pick up, but like where there's primer at the top and then where you see it sanded off. I've had to do that in a couple different spots, right over here in the corner a little bit. Just a lot of like putting the saucer down, like seeing how it fits, seeing where it doesn't sit flat, where it does sit flat, and then kind of moving on. It was a lot of sanding. And if you guys have ever sanded 3D printed resin, those particulates are fine and they get everywhere.
And you
It's
don't
kind of
want to breathe
nuts.
them in.
No, you do not. So it's wearing a face mask while doing it, and trying to wear a face mask while on stream and talking, kind of a pain in the butt, but you have to do it because you don't want to breathe that in. It's like gluten. It's so fine that it really messes with the alveoli in your lungs. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then beyond that, I am going to start working on getting my all of my corner markers, so all of my nav lights and formation lights and all that, getting them all burnt in and ready to go for the following week. I kind of need to keep moving forward on it, as Ken has definitely gotten way ahead of me on this build. But as we talked about, I having a full-time job sucks. So it's a challenge for me to get to build a lot, and with as many builds as I have, it's kind of ridiculous. So but yeah, that's kind of the plan for me, to be able to get this done this week, and then really move on to the rest of the finishing the lighting. Like once again, outside of a little bit of modifications here, a little bit of sanding on this part, the roll bar and the nacelles, like a lot of it's done. It's just the meat of the model now needs to come together, and I need to figure out how to consolidate everything down so all the wires that I need run down through here. So it's a lot. There's a lot to do, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. I can tell you what, next time, if I ever do one of these again, it as just, I know we're going to save it for the very end, but inner lights. Think about inner lights for this. This would be a fantastic build for the inner light system.
Oh yes, I'll be learning inner lights when I build my 1350 Excelsior.
Dude, I can't wait for that one. So they really need to get to building and getting us the 350 Reliant, but for now we're gonna have to kind of settle for this one.
Yes, unfortunately.
Indeed. All right, my friend. Well, you got anything else for us before we head out to the bench?
No, and do you?
No, I think I'm good. I'm really looking forward to actually getting an episode out this week and seeing how all this turned out. I've seen your window lights lit up and they look really, really good, and I can't wait to do that myself. So really looking forward to that.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you at the
All right,
bench.
buddy. See you at the bench. All right, welcome back to Align the Stars. I'm Jordan, and here it is, finally. It's taken me a while to get some of the work done on this model, as it's getting complicated, and being a YouTuber with a full-time schedule, a full-time girlfriend, and a full-time job, it is a lot. And this is the model. Unfortunately, scale models tend to be the ones that suffer a little bit, because I do want to do quality work and I don't want to rush anything. I say that, however, when we get into this today, we're going to see one half that looks like absolute trash, and then one side, like I'd figured out what I was doing wrong over here and then got it right over here. But I didn't really want to feel like doing any more soldering, because I've been soldering for hours, not just on this project, but on the Enterprise D project as well. So, there's been a lot of soldering today, and I'm just kind of over it and ready to move on to getting some assembly done, So I'm just going to leave the jank on the one side, and we're going to go ahead and get into assembly. So what we're going to be doing today, very simply, is getting all of our light boxes installed. Now, I have chained all of these together in one line with one power line running through this. Thinking a lot about the power for this model, the fact that I've got to get everything down through this channel right here. So there, all of our wiring and everything like that, because I do not put my Arduinos or any of my control boards inside of the model just in case you need to fix something. So I've had to kind of like think about that, and as much as I'd like for all these to turn on in sequence, that would require the Arduino to be inside, as it's just be too many wires, too many pairs of wires to run down. So, as I had said in the beginning of this episode with Ken, that was kind of the intention, but definitely not what the plan is going to be this time. So, the power does come from the very top center. And the reason for that is I wanted to be able to run the power kind of along here and then meet up at some point with the lights that are going to be coming from the top half of the saucer section, which will be taken care of here in the next couple of episodes or so. So I had everything meet up in the front. They are either end. This end does have a couple of ports here at the very end. I went ahead and just put some shrink wrap over the top of them just in case. But basically, like if I needed to change my power, like if I want to change it from the front or to the side, I kind of given myself some options. But these have all been chained together in sequence, and they're just going to power on in sequence. All the lights will power on, and what I figured for the startup sequence, we'll have the main bridge, we'll have the lower thing, we'll have the rear, and then the window lights turning on. So, and then the nacelles. So it's kind of what my thought is for the sequence buildup, at least for the startup of this build. So otherwise, fairly simple process. We do have our light boxes, and then they were pre-designed with the 3mm LEDs in mind. So they've all been done. I've decided to take out, we had put some white diffusion, and Ken had done that in his. I chose not to. In looking at it, I don't really see the need for any light diffusion. I feel like everything's going to be bright enough. And I'm going to be using, the microcrystal clear for the windows. So it's going to do just enough diffusion anyway. So I'm really not too worried about all that. So with all that said, we're ready for assembly. This is going to be the first part of likely 3 parts of lower lighting that we're going to be doing just for the lower saucer section lighting that we're going to be taking care of. It's likely this episode, not likely, but this episode we're going to take care of all this. And the next episode we'll take care of getting our center lighting taken care of, and then work on getting our I guess it would be the yellow blinky over here, and then all of our formation lights put along the bottom. So that's going to be kind of the sequence for that. And then in the next episode as well, we need to get our RCS thrusters done as well. So that's going to be the plan for today. So let's go ahead and move on to getting our light boxes installed and lighting these up. And I'm really excited to show you how this turned out. All right, so here we are. I got our power all ready to go. Let's go ahead and fire this up. I went ahead and twisted my wire here at the very end for the main power, so I know which is which. And because I love doing it. It's fun. It's weird things you enjoy. And there are all of our lights. So all the light boxes are lit up. I went ahead and in between, I dropped some foil, like I mentioned. Not foil, but aluminum tape along the outside. I went ahead and did that to just kind of provide more reflection, and it does an amazing job of that. So what we're going to be doing for the assembly is I'm going to leave these lit up, and the reason for that is when we get our light boxes lined up, if you don't get them precisely in place, everything's just falling out. But if you don't get them precisely in place, you can wind up with the top of the window there. You can see that. Now, if we get this moved up just a little bit, we fit everything in place. So I'm going to make sure to keep these lit up and get this glued in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue these in sequence and show you guys how it turned out after each one. So let's go ahead and start the first one together. And everything has kind of fallen out in the chain. So I just want to make sure I'm not pulling too hard on any of my LEDs, not trying to wrap anything up here too crazy. So first things first, what I need to do is go ahead and get my glue tool. And because this is resin and a printed part, we are going to be using super glue for this. And honestly, super glue is my preferred glue for making models. I do like the Tamiya for certain applications, um, but over time I found that CA is my go-to. So let's go ahead and get this one installed. And if you notice with these, there are going to be little clips that sit on each side of this. You want to slide this down in there or kind of pop it in place. And there we go. First window box installed. Just like so. Super easy. Let's go ahead and get the next one going. So for this one, now what I did wrong here is, and I'll show you the big difference as we get to the other side, but what I did wrong was I didn't basically link these in order by themselves. Like I kind of did it like on this side, I kind of like tried to move the wires over here, bring this one close to it, solder that all together, and then I tried to like leave enough length on everything, but it didn't wind up working out. What I wound up doing on each one of these is I wound up just bundling all the wires up for each light box, and then run a bridge in between each one. That is going to be the preferred method and what you should do, and if I had been paying attention, what I would have done. But I didn't. So here we are. All right. We're going to go ahead and get this side light box, which now does not have very much room to work with. Let's go ahead and get that one installed. Let's run the bead of glue along. Now this one you're going to need to basically kind of curve around and get into place on your own. If you notice, there's a little notch here at the very end, and that's for the notch that catches at the end of this light box or the window setting right there. So, same thing as before. It does have a little notch in the side. We're going to make sure we're lining everything up properly so that the windows are staying within. Excellent. I'm just going to go ahead and hold this in place for just a moment. I'll be right back. All right, so this one is put in place. Now, these are a little janky, and I'm going to need to sand this down here at the very end as it is lifted up a little bit, and that's totally fine. I did sand the bottom of each one of these light boxes before then to bring them down probably about an 18th or 16th, an 18th, a 16th of an inch or so. But it probably needed to be a little bit more, so pay attention into this corner of that. But I'll just need to go ahead and sand the top. As you see, I've already done a little bit there. Let's get on to the next light box, which is going to be right here. Very good. And here's the issue. So I had to organize these to make sure everything was in the way. Basically, everything is just kind of stretched and pulled along here where there's plenty of flexibility on the other side. It is what it is. I did what I did, and it's working, so I don't really need to correct the mistake, even though I really should. And as I'm recording right now, I really wish I did, but I was just so tired of soldering by the end of this. Like, I was just over it, over it, over it, over it, over it, over it. Got good tools for soldering, but man, it's just not a fun process for me, at least. All right. Get this window box put in place. Hold that in place for just a moment, and I'll be right back. All right, that one's put in place. There we go. Try not to knock these too far out of the way right now because I got them organized properly. Get this next one done. And I just use a PCB drill bit for my glue tool. Kind of ghetto, but it works. All right. All right. I like to use kicker. I use a syringe full of kicker, so I don't spray it, make a huge mess everywhere. This kind of helps with bonding it in place quickly. And there we are. Sorry, it's kind of blowing it out. Apologize, and not very clear. Let's go ahead and get around to the back side here. Get my wiring out of the way. There we go. It fits nice. I did sand each one of these in place and then put them in order when I stored them. Took my time to make sure that I was getting these sanded properly. And keep them organized. Yeah. I remember this one was a pain in the butt. The print was a little off, but got it lined up. A little bit of kicker. And we're installed. Very cool. Going on the next one in sequence. Don't stick yourself. Little kicker. Locks it in place. There we go. We're moving along now. Getting a little practice here. The funny shaped one, which I also broke twice, by the way. I chipped it down here, and then I cracked it right along inside here. And I know the camera's blowing that out. I apologize. And once again, these are a little funny right around here at the front. So just be careful of that. There we are. There, kicker on. And there we are. Very cool. And let's get our final light box installed. Now, this light box set, so the outer window, the window inserts are going to be available here soon from Lake Monster Details. But these window boxes, the window lighting boxes, are not going to be available. I, however, have them. They are also available on Cults 3D from the Ensign's Chair. Just look up the Ensign's Chair on Cults 3D. These are available there, or you can also email me directly. I'll go ahead and throw my email address up at jordan@atsmodels.com. Website's still in progress, by the way. But go ahead and email me there, and I can go ahead and send you over the STL files to either print yourself or to have somebody print for you. So let me know at jordan@atsmodels.com. All right, so let's get our last light box put in place. Get installed, put in place. This one was a tight fit, if I remember correctly. Yep. And this one doesn't need a whole lot of kicker, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, just for the sake of being thorough. There we are. And our light box is put in place. Wow. So as you can see here, this is nice and clean. There's plenty of room. I can go ahead and do some nice cable management through here. On this other side, however, it's all super tight, and I didn't give myself much room to work with. So what I like to do for that, to get my wires kind of stuck down, I'm going to grab my UV resin and my flashlight, and I'm going to go ahead and start at one end over here. I'm going to start at the crappy end. And I'm going to go through, and I'm going to spot, basically just put a little glob over the top of the wires here onto the model, and then go ahead and lock it down with the UV light. Just like that. And it doesn't actually stick to anything, but the UV resin just kind of sticks itself down. It's kind of amazing. So one more time, and I'll go ahead and take care of the rest off camera real quick. But I'm going to grab just a nice little clump of these wires, kind of bring a bunch of it together here real quick. Like so. UV resin over the top. A little onto the surface of the model. Push down. And then about 45 seconds with your UV light. Go ahead and cure it in place. And just like so. So, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the rest of this, and I'll be right back. We're going to go and slap the top of the saucer down, turn off the lights, and see how it turned out. All right, so here we are. I went ahead and got all of my wiring all taken care of, and when I say don't do this, the difference between the two sides is kind of palpable, actually. I went ahead and just kind of routed my power wire around as well and have it coming out the back here. All the power is going to eventually run down through here. Eventually, all the negatives are going to get combined and so on and so forth. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just leave this as is until we get to that point. So let's go ahead and throw on the saucer real quick. Obviously, I haven't done any light blocking from the top, but I have from the inside on the bottom, so you can't see any of those LEDs. Obviously, you can see them through here at the top, but get everything lined up, and here we are. Got to get a little bit of sanding done again. Things didn't quite sit down the way they wanted to, but, you know, obviously we can kind of work with the saucer a little bit here. But I am pretty pleased, like right here specifically. A little tough through here. But overall, I'm very pleased with how this turned out. A lot of work has gone into getting here. Now what's next? We got to do the same thing for these ones, for the light boxes. But before we do that, however, we're going to go ahead and come around for the next episode. And what we're going to be doing, like I said, is we're going to go ahead and get our RCS thrusters put in place. We're going to go ahead and get our rear, I guess it'd be not the warp crystal, but impulse crystal. I don't know, like whatever it is at the very back on bottom here that kind of blinks with all the formation lights, but it's an amber light. We're going to go ahead and put that in. And we're going to go ahead and get our center light burned in, a cob. I'm going to go ahead and take care of a cob LED, and it's going to basically just kind of ring around here to throw some light into the lower windows down here. So in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and take care of that. With the following episode, getting all the formation lights put in place and all of the nav lights, and then beyond that, we get to move on to the top half of the saucer section. I gotta say, my friends, this is a lot of work coming, a lot of delays, but here we are, and I'm pretty pleased with where we are. So, I hope you're looking forward to the next one, just like I am, but until then, I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me, watching me build a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. You guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And just remember that I have been, and always shall be, your friend.